Welcome to Engaging Experts, the podcast that goes behind the scenes with influential attorneys. Our guests will describe their practice and expertise. Then we will go deep on various topics related to effectively using expert witnesses.
Hey, this is Russ Rosenzweig. I am the CEO and co-founder of Roundtable Group, where we have been helping litigators to more efficiently and cost-effectively locate and engage their expert witnesses for 27 years now, God help me. And I am also the co-host of this show, in which we feature top influential attorneys talking about how they use experts and how they use experts in the course of their practice. And today we're going to flip it a bit, and I'm going to introduce, speaking of experts, John Corcoran, who, in my opinion, is the world's leading podcast expert. And he's going to interview one of my beloved longtime colleagues, Kelley Baione, on the topic of our COVID-19 practice group. So, John, as always, take it away.
Excellent. Russ and Kelley, it's an honor and a pleasure to have both of you here. And this is going to be a really fun and topical subject to talk about. And it's the creation of one of the first COVID-19 expert panels out there. So we're going to talk about how that came about and some of the different issues that come up around it. But first, before we get into that, this episode is brought to you by Roundtable Group, the expert on experts, which for more than 25 years, 27 years, they have been helping litigators to locate, assess, and engage the best and most qualified expert witnesses. Roundtable Group is a great complement to any litigator's expert witness quest, and their search is always free of charge. Their skilled team will review the complaint or patent and discuss all the nuances and details of the perfect expert. They will perform thorough and comprehensive research and contact the candidates to check for conflicts and confirm their availability, saving attorneys hours of time. Need an expert witness now? Visit roundtablegroup.com or contact them at engagingexperts@roundtablegroup.com. There's always a seat for you at the roundtable, where they provide a level of service and a breadth of experts that is peerless in the realm. All right, so Kelley, I'm going to go over to you. Kelley, you're the Director of Expert Witness Services for Roundtable Group. And, we're recording this in December of 2020. So the COVID-19 pandemic is not that old. It's less than a year old. At what point did you realize that you need to have some kind of COVID-19 panel?
Almost right away. I mean, as soon as the pandemic began, we saw the need right away. We were starting to hear from our clients almost right away. Obviously, they weren't in litigation yet, but they knew it was coming. And they were starting to look for experts to provide expert advice. Roundtable Group, it's kind of strange, but Roundtable Group in the beginning, we actually decided against forming the practice group because at first it felt wrong. It felt almost like we wanted to avoid any perception that we were trying to somehow capitalize on a global tragedy, because that is the opposite of what Roundtable Group stands for and what we believe in. But as I said, clients started coming to us with questions like, do you have any infectious disease experts or any virologist experts with knowledge of how this disease replicates and spreads? And you couldn't find an expert at this point because no one had COVID-19 on the resume yet. How could they? It was a novel coronavirus.
Well, that was going to be my first question, is how do you put together a panel? Where do you find experts when you have something brand new that the world has never seen before?
Well, the reason why our clients come to us is because they know that what Roundtable Group does best is we find those niche, impossible to find experts. And we did it. What we did was, because no one had COVID-19 on their resumes yet, we found experts with experience in a variety of different areas of expertise that were relevant to COVID-19 and COVID-19 current and future litigation. So, for example, they came asking for medical experts. So we were looking for virologists, epidemiologists, infectious disease experts like that, with knowledge of how a virus might replicate and spread, and general biologic and disease concepts. And it turns out that although they were not COVID-19 experts per se. They were virus experts. And there are other coronaviruses other than COVID-19.
Right.
Medical experts.
And I know we did a whole nother episode where we went really deep into kind of the research methodology, how you track down different experts, how you find them both in your database built over the last 25 years and, different databases on the internet, searches, phone calls, networking, all that kind of stuff. But shed a little light for us on how you went about tracking down those initial experts.
Sure. Well, I mean, first of all, let me just say that the practice group is a stable of experienced expert witnesses in numerous areas. So a lot of the experts we already had in our database that we already knew about. And so I and others thought of people that they came to mind as people who might have relevant expertise. So we have a lot of experts we were aware of already, but looking for more, we do keyword searches, for example. So I knew I was looking for a virologist, immunologist, public health, pulmonology, and that's how we find them. But the practice group are experts that have expert witness experience. They aren't new experts. They're knowledgeable in their areas, and they've worked on other cases.
Yeah, that's important. And what types of litigation are you seeing so far, or is it too early to tell?
Oh no, I can name a number. Unfortunately, the pandemic has affected all aspects of our lives, right? So we have experts in so many different practice areas, but there are really four that I'm seeing. The medical experts that I just talked about, they are being called on to address issues like standard of care, how the disease spreads, and they're in cases like premises liability, nursing home liability, cruise ship liability, so many different types of cases where they're addressing negligence and standard of care. Another very big area of litigation, unfortunately, is insurance. So many individuals and businesses have lost so much money because of the pandemic. They're naturally turning to their insurance policies to try to recoup some of those losses. So we have expert witnesses in property insurance, health insurance, and business interruption. Another big area is supply chain, logistics, and transportation. These experts are being called on to address claims of business interruption and supply chain disruption. They're also needed for breach of contract litigation, where a product or a supplier had to be substituted because of COVID-19. And all of a sudden, they're being sued for breach of contract when they had really no choice because of COVID-19. The original supplier was no longer available. The last category that comes to mind is employment, labor, and unemployment benefits. And they're addressing employment discrimination, health and safety workplace violations, and employee claims of retaliation by their employer for talking about compliance concerns. There are whistleblowing cases.
Wow.
Those are really the big four areas that we're seeing.
That was really comprehensive. Thank you, Kelley. Any other final thoughts on what you're seeing right now and the types of needs that you're seeing in the expert witness realm?
Well, these are the main areas that we're seeing right now. I'm fairly confident, sadly, that the vaccine, which is a wonderful thing, is unfortunately probably going to give rise to more litigation. But right now, the areas I mentioned are really the big areas.
Yeah, that was very interesting. Well, Kelley, for those who've been listening to this and who could use help with locating an expert, where can people go to reach out, connect with you, or to learn more about Roundtable Group?
Sure. Go to roundtablegroup.com. You'll find all of us on there. You'll find me, you'll find Russ, and all of our managers who do the expert witness work in the COVID-19 area. You can also, for those people who are listening, we have blogs. We have COVID-19 blogs, and you can go to our website, roundtablegroup.com, and go to the Around the Table blog. And we have a variety of COVID-19 blogs that are actually interviews with our COVID-19 experts to learn a little bit more about the areas.
Excellent. All right, Kelley, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Engaging Experts. Be sure to click subscribe so you don't miss our future episodes.